It doesn't matter where you come from, your background, or even how you were raised. Change that inspires comes from within. It's a movement, a small step, a leap of faith, a stride in the right direction. It's an act of kindness, no matter the size, that shines light and gives hope to the world. Even in its darkest moments. Today, the world as we knew it a mere year ago looks completely different. We face a new world filled with challenges, distances, and complexities with no end in sight. But that hasn't stopped us. It's given us new hope to change the world as we know it. Rising above all else are stories of our people and communities working tirelessly to pave the way for an equitable future for all in a healthy new world. Through hope and through change. Together, we will make a difference.
Hi there. Good evening. Welcome to our broadcast of the 2020 Cleveland Jewish News 18 Difference Makers Award Ceremony. I'm Kevin Adelstein. I'm a publisher and CEO of the Cleveland Jewish News and president of the Cleveland Jewish Publication Company. Our event is presented with the generous support of our partners at Classic Lexus, Coit, McCarthy Levitt Crystal Liffman, and our friends at Shark and Minnow. And our video sponsor is Anthology. As we all know, the world is a vastly different place than it was just 1 year ago. And amidst so many changes in our daily life, with new distances, worries, and social injustices brought to light, the values of Tikkun Olam, demonstrated in our Northeast Ohio Jewish community, have brought us closer and strengthened our ties to one another. As community storytellers at the Cleveland Jewish News, it is our duty, our responsibility, now more than ever, to tell the story of those who have long led the way toward making our community better, as well as those who tirelessly paved the way to a more equitable and healthy world for all of us. This year's class of 18 Difference Makers, once again, showcases a very diverse group of professionals and lay leaders, from executive level personnel, nonprofit leaders, partners, attorneys, a physician, a rabbi, and more. They truly exemplify these mensch-like qualities that define difference makers: community-mindedness, honor, integrity, and generosity. Friends, it is now my privilege and my honor to introduce to you and share the stories of our 2020 Cleveland Jewish News 18 Difference Makers. Our first honoree is a community activist, a doer who is always dreaming big. In 2013, after witnessing a demand for a more modern and proactive approach to financial distress, he founded Gesher, a collaborative nonprofit resource center whose goal is to create a more prosperous, self-sustaining Jewish community. It is now my distinct honor to introduce Rabbi AVROHOM ADLER.
I am honored to receive this award. On behalf of the Cleveland Chesed Center, Gesher Career Development and Benefits Center, I thank the Cleveland Jewish News, my wife, family, friends, co-workers, the Klein Jaffa family, the Jewish Federation, and JFSA for recognizing my service on behalf of the Cleveland Jewish community. What inspires me to give back and make a difference is based upon the Talmud, which expounds the verse, One should walk in the ways of Hashem your God. This is accomplished by following in his ways. He visits the sick, he feeds the hungry. He comforts the mourners, he cares for the world. Giving to others is an act of godliness. We cannot wait for the needs of others to announce themselves and enter our consciousness. We must be proactive and seek out opportunities to make a positive difference in the lives of others. Thank you.
Our next honoree is a partner at Walter Haverfield. He takes great pride in being an active member of his congregation, B'nai Jeshurun, where he's also offered pro bono legal advice for many years. He's worked on several pro bono legal projects for the Joseph and Florence Mandel Jewish Day School. He also participates in FIDF's Impact, a scholarship program designed to support combat soldiers from low socioeconomic backgrounds, enabling them to achieve their dreams of higher education. Now introducing Charles DAROFF.
It's truly an honor and privilege to be included with such amazing fellow awardees. Growing up, my parents instilled in me and my brothers a recognition of our obligation to be involved in the world around us, to try to repair the world. To me, repairing the world means committing my time and energy to enhance the lives of Jewish Clevelanders. Providing legal counsel to local Jewish organizations has been one of the highlights of my career. Through my work on behalf of B'nai Jeshurun, the Mandel Jewish Day School, the Jewish Federation of Cleveland, and many of its agencies, I've endeavored to share my knowledge and know-how to try to make those organizations stronger and more vibrant. Thank you again for this honor. I'm humble and deeply grateful.
Our next honoree has just ended her term as board chair of the Montefiore Foundation, where she was actively involved in every aspect of their fundraising efforts. She helped spearhead the fundraising efforts of Shining Star Clee, which supports memory care services for our community's seniors. She now chairs ADLER at the Jewish Federation of Cleveland, helping all Jewish agencies improve their services. Susan R. HURWITZ.
Hello, and thank you to the CJN for this wonderful honor. I'd also like to give a great big thank you to the person who nominated me and who was thoughtful enough to do so. I'd also like to thank all of the wonderful professionals, lay leaders, and volunteers with whom I've worked for many years. I've learned so much from all of you, especially that when like-minded people get together around a common goal, that's when differences can really be made. The result of all of my wonderful experiences is that I've learned to be a much better listener and to truly value the opinions and ideas of others. As Aristotle posited, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts.
Our next honoree is operating partner, workforce training, and corporate partnerships at Values in Action, Project Love. He is a quiet gem of a person who works behind the scene to make organizations and people's lives better. Humble and yet charismatic, he's a man of the highest character and willing to put his energy in every phase of a project, from high-level thinking to greeting everyone who walks in. Kenny KOBLITZ.
Hello, my name is Kenny KOBLITZ. I'd like to thank the Cleveland Jewish News for honoring me as a difference maker. I come from a long line of difference makers, including my grandparents, Lozer and KOBLITZ, my parents, and my aunts and uncles, Lozer and KOBLITZ. My children and grandchildren are already becoming difference makers at many levels. I am blessed with many wonderful friends and mentors, including coaches Nay Santa and Woody Hayes, Dr. David Rosenberg and Dr. Mark Levine, Alan Soden, Rabbi Roger Klein, Rabbi Rosie Hyam, and the late Vic Gelb. If I could have dinner with any one person, it would be my wife Audrey, my closest friend, and the love of my life. All the best to all of us for the memories.
Our next honoree is a partner at Ulmer & Byrne LLP and a group leader of the firm's immigration law group, the son of a Holocaust survivor and a refugee. He has personally and professionally made it his mission to support opportunities for newcomers. With his litigation background, he uses the courts to navigate change. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing David W. Leopold.
Hi, I'm David Leopold, and I'm really pleased and honored to be named as one of the 18 difference makers. Thank you so much for the recognition. I'm not sure I deserve it, but I appreciate it. And I want to congratulate everybody else who was named. Great group of people, and I'm humbled and honored to be among them. If I could do whatever I wanted to do without worrying about money, it would be photography, particularly street photography, and particularly in black and white. So there you have it. All right, thank you very much, and appreciate the award. Take care now.
Good evening, 2020 18 difference makers. My name is Matthew Dietz. I'm the general manager here at Classic Lexus in Willoughby Hills. Once again, I am very excited and proud to be a part of honoring this year's 18 difference makers. To be able to have individuals that are going out and doing things in the community in such a positive way is exactly what we need in this world today. I've said it every year, and in 2020, we need it more than ever, and our work is not done. So I congratulate and thank each and every one of you for making such a great difference. Here at Classic Lexus, if you have not been in to visit our dealership, we try to make that difference in your shopping experience, whether you're purchasing or leasing a new vehicle or just servicing your current vehicle. We try to make sure that you have a very great experience to talk about when you're done. So please don't hesitate to visit us right here in Willoughby Hills. You can visit us at www.classiclexus.com, but you will see us at the next event, hopefully live. So congratulations 2020 honorees, and we wish you a great finish to 2020.
Our next honoree is the proposal manager and grant writer at United Way of Greater Cleveland. A faithful member of the Temple Tifereth Israel, she demonstrates every day how commitment to helping others and to creating a better world is not limited to what can be accomplished in a workplace or place of worship alone. Ladies and gentlemen, Carol A. Marshall.
I am honored and surprised to be named a CJN difference maker. I am truly humbled to be among the most distinguished and renowned members of our community. I'd like to thank my family and my friends, the wonderful colleagues I've had the privilege of working with, and my Joe Newman, who has been a blessing in my life. Two people have been very influential in my life. The first is Barb Kravenka, my dear friend, who helped me through a turbulent time in my life and helped me to become a better me. And Al Roberts, who took a chance about 30 years ago on a very novice grant writer, and the rest is history. Toda Rabba.
Our next honoree has had a long, successful law career, both locally in Northeast Ohio and in Sarasota, Florida. He has sat on numerous Jewish community boards here, including the ADL and the Mandel Jewish Community Center, to name a few. Most notably, he's done pro bono and professional work for a number of Jewish organizations concerning labor and employment matters dealing with sensitive, agency-critical issues. David J. MILLSTONE.
I am both honored and humbled to be among the amazing group of people who have been selected by the CJN as difference makers. Thank you, Devorah, my wife, for all of your support. One of the successes I want to share with you occurred while I was the regional chair of ADL and Betty Sue Foyer was our regional director. There was a convenience store near the corner of East 55th and Chester that had virulent anti-Semitic murals covering all of the outside walls. With the help of the Plain Dealer, we ran a contest for students to prepare posters to fight hate. With the generosity of Clear Channel Communications, we were able to post the winning posters on billboards throughout the city of Cleveland. With the support of the mayor and council members denouncing anti-Semitism, I believe we made a difference.
As the Chief Executive Officer of Menora Park, our next honoree has made a personal commitment toward work within faith-based organizations. Jim NEWBROUGH.
I am humbled and honored to be named among such incredible community leaders selected as a member of the 2020 class of CJN Difference Makers. During this pandemic, our community is experiencing greater challenges than ever before. So we could also consider this a time of opportunity when we're able to roll up our sleeves and continue to make a difference when people are counting on us the most. I'd like to thank the community, its leaders, my friends and family, including my Menora Park family. It is with your collective support that I'm able to accomplish important goals that include completing the affiliation with Montefiore, strengthening best practices in service for people as they age and for people who love them. What truly inspires me to give back and make a difference is rooted in my core values that compel me to make meaningful contributions and a positive impact through my life's work.
Our next honoree is an attorney at Walter Haverfield. She specializes in education law, and she's devoted to caring and providing for foster children as well as non-native migrants to the United States. Introducing MIRIAM Perlmutter.
Hi, I'm Miriam Perlmutter. I'm an attorney at Walter Haverfield, and I work with school districts on employment issues, special education, bullying and harassment claims, anything school districts need help with. I wanted to thank my family, my friends, and my colleagues and my coworkers for supporting me in my professional and my personal endeavors. To me, repairing the world means finding a way to leave it a better place than when you came in, and that applies especially to those in our society who have the least power, the least agency, such as children and immigrants. I think especially during this pandemic, the way we can all get through it, the way we can heal and find comfort is by sharing kindness with those who need it the most.
Our next honoree has been a helper and social activist since he was a young boy. As an adult, he's worked tirelessly and diligently as a community organizer and community leader. He leads his team in his role as executive director at University Settlement in helping Slavic Village and neighboring communities. Ladies and gentlemen, EARL PIKE.
I've long believed that whenever we give somebody an award or commendation of some kind, that what we're really doing is recognizing the people behind that person, the people who helped that person get to where they are. And of course, in my case, at the top of that list is my wife, Elizabeth Klein, who won a CJN Difference Maker Award before I did last year. And of course, my kids, Leah and Jonah, who inspire me every day. And I have to give a shout out to the person who nominated me for this award, Sherry Goldberg, who's amazing. All of them have taught me in one way or another that none of us get to where we are on our own, and that the most enduring lesson of all of this work is just to stay humble, to stay centered, to know that you don't get there by yourself.
Hello, 2020 Difference Makers. As a past recipient of this award, I would like to say thank you for all that you do, and congratulations to all of you for being honored as a recipient of this award. Please keep doing what you have always done to keep our city and community great. Welcome to the 18 Difference Makers family, and a very sincere congratulations.
Our next honoree is the community caretaker through his career, commitment, and his calling. Through his work at university hospitals, he provided liaisons, networking, and expertise to help guide our community through this pandemic. Along with his colleagues, he provided guidance and expertise to federation, clergy, and synagogues on managing lives and activities during COVID-19. I'm honored to introduce Dr. David M. Rosenberg.
How does anyone quantify, let alone qualify, a life filled with many accomplishments and successes, including raising a family, serving as a healthcare provider, and being a teacher, a mentor, and a community volunteer? It is an impossible task. That being said, through it all, I am most proud of the approach I have taken toward the people for whom I have cared. I have modeled my medical practice on the importance of building empathetic and caring physician-patient relationships upon a foundation of sound communication. Those relationships always brave both smooth and choppy waters. I am most proud of the steady support and comfort that I have been able to provide to patients and families under any circumstances.
Our next honoree has truly demonstrated his commitment to the people and places of Northeast Ohio. For the past 30 years, he's lent his time, talent, and treasure to some of the community's largest organizations and some of the smallest, including the Western Reserve Land Conservancy, the Siegel College for Lifelong Learning at Case Western Reserve University, ORT, and the Jewish Federation of Cleveland. Ladies and gentlemen, Mitchell C. Schneider.
I want to thank my family and my friends, and in particular the Western Reserve Land Conservancy, for nominating me for this award. It's truly a privilege and an honor, so thank you all. The person that inspired me the most over my lifetime was really the lawyers and clients at the initial law firm I went to work for in 1984, Conkleim, Janowitz, and Arnson. The leadership and lawyers at that law firm were engaged in philanthropic and communal work around the world, here in Cleveland, nationally, and right down to their individual synagogues and day schools their kids went to. As a young man, I came in and saw all of these lawyers devoting their time, their talent, and their treasure to the world around them in ways that were new and inspiring to me, and I'm forever grateful to so many of them for showing me the pathway forward of communal engagement, caring for family, caring for friends, and caring for community. Thanks to all of you.
Friends, our next honoree started Camp Lilac in Northeast Ohio as a place where transgender and gender-diverse youth can be themselves in a much-needed break from their outside life. Since the pandemic hit, she has been shopping for a number of Jewish families who, due to health or age, cannot go to stores to shop for themselves. Introducing Jody Lynn Solomon.
In accepting this honor, I would like to thank my family, my friends, and the entire Camp Lilac and Gender Sphere community. It's absolutely true that it takes a village, and they are my village. If I could have dinner with any person, living or dead, I would like to have dinner with my biological grandfather, Stanford, who I never met, but I've heard lots of interesting things about him and would really enjoy getting to know him. If it was a biblical person, I would like to have dinner with Tamar, who I feel used the tools she was given to get what she needed, and I feel that that is really impressive.
As a LiveSpecial.com coordinator at NCJW Cleveland, our next honoree is a positive representative of Cleveland's Jewish community who continues to make a real difference in the lives of individuals with special needs. Ladies and gentlemen, Wendy SPITZ.
I'm extremely honored to be receiving this award. Thank you, Jewish News. Thank you, family, friends, and NCJW Cleveland for allowing me to do the work that I love. If money was no object, what would I do all day long? I have to say that's an easy question for me to answer. I keep doing the work that I love and that I do, but it would just allow for a lot more work to be done. We wouldn't have to worry about funding, and my support from National Council of Jewish Women and the mission of helping women, children, families in the community, and all the work we do in the special needs community, helping children, youth, adults, and families, we could do so much more. So if money was no object, what would I do all day long? Work harder, dream up new programs, develop new partners, and keep doing good things.
In her professional, volunteer, and religious life, our next honoree strives to make Northeast Ohio as inclusive as possible. This can be seen in all the work she has done to create an unbelievably inclusive minion, the Cleveland Partnership Minion. It is my honor to introduce Allie Stern.
I'd like to thank my friends and family for nominating me for this award. What inspires me to give back and make a difference is my family. My grandparents were Holocaust survivors, and they saw this world at its worst. They devoted much of their lives to the Jewish community, and my grandmother would speak to elementary school students about the Holocaust and the dangers of hate and the importance of love. My parents always taught me to be an informed and engaged citizen, that we each have the power and the voice to stand up and to make a difference and to advocate for ourselves and for others. And that's what I try to teach my two sons, and that we're put on this earth to make it a better place and to leave the people we love a little bit better than how we found them. And each of us has the ability and the responsibility to give back and to make a difference. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Ken Liffman from McCarthy, Levitt, Crystal, and Liffman. We have the honor of being a co-sponsor for tonight's event. Although I know a number of tonight's honorees, I'd like to give a big shout out to all of the 2020 difference makers. The world is upside down at the moment, and the work that all of you are doing is more essential than ever. You are performing Tikkun Olam. By doing so, you honor your families and your community. Thank you so much for all that you have done.
Our next honoree's commitment runs deep from her Jewish upbringing in South Africa. Her desire to make sure Israel is a significant part of her family at all times makes her an incredible partner to the Ohio chapter of the Friends of the Israel Defense Forces and a true difference maker. Ladies and gentlemen, Beverly Uriah.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my family and friends, both near and far, for your continuous love and support, and to the Cleveland Jewish News for the nomination. The most important lesson I have learned is that we have a choice in how we respond to challenges in our life. Having grown up in South Africa, I had the privilege of witnessing the great Nelson Mandela rise above bitterness and hardships after 27 years in prison and transition a deeply divided apartheid country to a unified democracy with dignity and love.
As the chairman of FIDF's Ohio chapter, our next honoree has raised over $1 million for the soldiers of the Israel Defense Forces. Last year, he led a men's mission to Israel that saw record numbers in both participation and dollars raised. It is my honor and privilege to introduce Richard Uriah.
I'd like to thank my family and friends and the Cleveland Jewish News for this nomination. I would say my biggest success that I'm most proud of takes me back almost 20 years ago when Bev and myself made the decision to immigrate from South Africa, our home from birth, and begin a life and family together in Cleveland. Fast forward to 2020, an incredibly proud dad of 3 awesome boys, close family and friends, strong ties to Großschachter Day School, Solon Chabad, Jewish Federation of Cleveland, FIDF, and many of the other incredible Cleveland organizations are all a result of that single decision that placed me here today.
As a board member for both Life Act and Hopewell, our final honoree ensures that stigmas regarding mental health are broken down and that individuals across Northeast Ohio have access to necessary mental health resources. As a life director for JFSA, he established a scholarship that helps disadvantaged youth throughout our city gain critical funding for young Jewish scholars so that they can pursue their dreams of a college education every single year. Ladies and gentlemen, last but certainly not least, William A. WORTZMAN.
Several charities that I volunteer with advocated on my behalf for this award, and I want to thank each of the charities, namely Life Act, Hopewell, and Jewish Family Service, for recognizing my contributions to the community. The recognition I am receiving by this award is very meaningful to me, since I think each day how I can make a difference with helping people who are disadvantaged. I grew up in a family situation that required community and government assistance. Charities and people in the community stepped forward to help us. So in the late 80s, it was time for me to step forward and give back. Returning the help my family received dominates my daily existence, and not a day goes by when I do not think about the help my family received. As I think about my value system, the most influential person and the person who created an example for me to follow was my mother. Each time I receive a gift, I believe I am honoring my mother. She was clearly my inspiration. Thank you.
Wow, that truly is inspiring. Mazel tov to each of our honorees this evening. As we conclude the 2020 Cleveland Jewish News 18 Difference Makers Award Ceremony, I'd like to once again thank all of you for joining us, who've gathered here to recognize our 18 difference makers. Thank you to each one of them for allowing us to tell their stories. Thank you for inspiring change and for doing your part in improving the lives of those around us and throughout our communities. It's my honor to be your host and share these stories of each one of our 18 difference makers. I'd like to once again thank our partners, Classic Lexus, Coit, McCarthy Levitt Crystal Liftman, our friends at Shark and Minnow, and our video sponsor, Anthology. I'd like to acknowledge the incredible support and leadership all of us at the Cleveland Jewish Publication Company receive on a daily basis from our lay leaders, our board of directors, led by David Hertz. Thank you for all you do for our community. And our professional staff for your tireless efforts in all that we do at the Cleveland Jewish Publication Company. Thank you again for joining us, and may you all go from strength to strength. Good night.